Welcome, Wes, Kijos, Lise, and Arnold. Welcome, Zach, as well. We have some interesting developments, but let's wait a little longer for people to join. Welcome, Abby, as well. And Christina, good to see you as well. Hope you are doing well, also with your business. Zlatan and Dylan, also welcome. Seems like the standard group is in, so then we can get started. Thank you all. Going good. Good to hear. Good to hear. We'll have contact soon. So first of all, we have Bitcoin in this local range, potentially forming the distribution idea with the 1, 2, and then just we took out the range highs during New York, which is a pretty strong hour to print highs or lows, especially now that we took out some important sell side liquidity and it is the third tap. That is always a nice confluence if you do that during strong New York hours. So I was watching what is the structure in your third tap. So this is third tap, then you want to see, like, do you have clear structure into that move, which you can break to confirm the breakout structure. Well, on the 2 is the highest time frame, or 3. On the 5, you don't have structure. On the 3, you can see 3 is the highest time frame where you have here 1, 2 candles going down and then high. So then this is your market structure level. But you need to break that on the 3 minute. Right here. So technically this was a break. I don't know why it's a break, because when I was watching it earlier, it was not a break. But that's weird. It's very weird. Let's look at what was it here. It's also a break. Also break. Okay, so technically it is a break, but I thought it was not a break. But still, I want to see a clean break. This is not a clean break to me. I shared it in a group as well, right? Where it's here on the, yeah, I was watching it on the 5. Then we wicked it and then came up. But technically, we can now say that this was already the break, which changes things quite a lot. Because this is 2 down, up, and then this is your break, because we closed the candle below it. So this is pretty good break structure. Then we came back up, and now we are trying to break it again from this low. So far, we are wicking it, but we have some supply right here. And technically, this is then a valid short. So let's keep an eye on it and look what is the volume profile, for example. Are we below the value area high or above? We are below. So technically this could be a valid short. And you have to see how does it relate to your RR. Yeah, RR wise, it's not the best. To the technical target, it's 2.6, so that's pretty good. We are breaking down already. But we are already at the point of control, which is usually not a place you want to enter position. So I'm not gonna chase this position, and especially not because we have news coming up. The Clarity Act in, what is it, 20 minutes. So I think that can give some unexpected price action. But technically, this is a valid short playing the Model 1 distribution as pre-planned. However, I'm not going to enter it here because it's already too low. But if we somehow get a move back to the value area high, so basically this zone right here, and at supply, then I'm interested in shorts. Because then you can look if you get structure in it and can find a short anywhere around here. I would not use this as my stop loss because this can be your extreme liquidity level, but then I would use that third tab, which is always in a Model 1. The nice thing about it is that your third tab is your invalidation. So you don't want to take that out. Otherwise the model is just invalidated. So you can use that just above that level. And then from here, the RR is super interesting. So let me set an alert there to see if we get a move into it. Preferably you get a move with structure like this. And then you can enter it on that break. And then stop loss and then target lower. That would be the cleanest idea. So personally waiting for that. Then I will short it. And earlier, or like earlier, that's not too long ago, but here we had a scalp long. So I want to quickly discuss that long because it was very similar to a long I took yesterday. Well, not really similar, but this is the absorption low, which we have been talking about many times, where it's like on the 1 minute, so it's super low time frame, but in essence it's the same, where we have range low, range high, tab 2, but now we are looking at it from an accumulative perspective, where we have 1, 2, 3, model 1. Let's delete this for a moment. The structure right here is low, lower high, lower low. That one broke back to bullish right here. So that technically confirms your model 1. And then price here took liquidity, basically making this the 4 tab. And especially on a very low time frame, you want to have like super clean triggers and super clear signs. But the 1, 2, 3, and then at 4, that is like the clean trigger you want to see. So there I was doubting to get in, like here, stop loss there, and then target that range high level. I was already with my hand on the green button, but I didn't take it because there was news. But this would have been a super clean 4R trade. Basically playing the absorption low, local model 1 into model 2. And it was in a pretty nice POI, since we had this uptrend from the low up. Yesterday we made this low, and from there we have high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So you want to form your higher low anywhere here to continue that internal uptrend. And that is where the fib levels often come in pretty handy. Because if you look at the low from here to that high and watch where you bounce from, then it's around that fib level. So here you take the fib and then bounce. And basically if we do the same from this low to that high, you see that price came close to that fib level and then bounced. So in general, you can use the fib level to see where your higher lows likely are being formed, because price wants to give deep retraces and then push higher to take liquidity and then move up. So basically the fib levels can be used to see this is where I want to see the bounce, because these 0.7 to 0.78 is already a pretty deep mitigation. But if you want to keep your higher lows intact, then you don't want to go below that. If you make this deep of a retrace, then oftentimes it's a weak sign of weakness. So here we came into the fib level, higher low level, local absorption, structure confirmation, and we also had big cells coming in right here around, what is this? I believe it was 28 or 30 million negative selling right into that low. And then you have that local accumulation. So that was a nice trigger for the long. Unfortunately, didn't take it. Otherwise, it was easy for our scalp. But yesterday, I took a different scalp, which was here. This one was also because we had heavy selling into that low right here. Red dot. And you can see it right here. Super negative delta, which means a lot of aggressive selling. And if you have a lot of aggressive selling into or after such a move down already, where you have super strong downtrend, and then a lot of selling happens at that low, that can often be a sign that you are due for a bounce, at least. Okay, BTC is there. I think we have some time, so let's see. And this is where I went on the very low time frame. But here we had the structure down, low, lower high, SFP of this low, and then we bounced up, and then we broke structure from low to high right here, while also having a lot of negative delta. However, you can never use the delta alone as a trigger. So you still need, or at least I always need, my local triggers, which in this case was the swing failure, SFP of the low, which is also some sort of an absorption idea, because you fail to break below that low. And you want a structure break, as always. I always want structure on my side. So this was my bullish boss level, basically. And then waiting for that to happen. There we get the break. So I entered around here. Stop loss there. And I didn't have a clear target, but I closed it at around 3R, which I believe to be was exactly the top. Let's see. And here you see that all the shorts that entered here, so people see it going down, and then they start shorting it into that low. And the price action you see right here is that all those shorts are getting wiped out of their positions. Just liquidity games with people getting short right at the low. So that one played out nicely, and I think I closed it around these highs. And then overnight price came back all the way. So that are a few scalps of this week. Let's see. This is a strong move back up. Yeah, this is a super strong move. I don't like this for the short idea as it looks now. Also not because if you see this to me shows more that we are, or at least someone is buying. This moves more locally accumulative behavior than distributive behavior. So I'm not interested in this short anymore. And this is where oftentimes also a bit of experience comes in, because you can think, oh, it's confirmed, I'm gonna short it, stop loss there, low here. But in Discord I already said, like, I'm not really feeling it, purely because of the behavior we had earlier. So let me show you if I can explain it here. Like at this low, seller stepped in, and then from that low, we can see that open interest started ramping up pretty hard towards that high, together with CVD, and spot also started ramping up very strongly. We have the Clarity Act in 50 minutes. I'm not sure if it's like an announcement or that they have a speech or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if big players are positioning themselves ahead of that move, which is why I'm not really eager to take the short, because I think they can squeeze it hard. So I'm not gonna short it anymore. And actually see this more as a local tree drive, internal bullish break. I will not be surprised if it turns bullish right now. Maybe even more interested in longs than shorts, but I'm not gonna do that. But that's just a bit of my thought process about why I was looking for short and now not. Just adapt to what you see and don't stick to, it's really hard to do that, but a lot of times your ego wants to stay stuck to an idea, but you have to adapt. This is showing strength, so then you do not short. Welcome HTOP, Wyckoff, Sniper, and Sudo. Welcome, guys. So yeah, let's see. I'm not gonna long it right now. I'm also not gonna short it. And my main idea, so let's go back a little bit, is that, let's delete that as well, is that yesterday we very aggressively came into the low, but this is where I've been waiting on for a long time. We had that clean demand right here, which was not mitigated on that first step. And yesterday we did tap into it, tap 2, and we are leaving a buy side liquidity above. Look, I would have been wiped out of my short if I took it right now. So I'm glad we did not take it. We leave buy side liquidity above. We take out the low. A lot of aggressive selling into this move. So I'm personally viewing it is maybe you get that move into 80k. Here I'm interested in shorts. Then come down and then look for the third tap. And then I personally still think we will go to the range highs and beyond. This is my main plan. Tap 2, tap 3, new highs. So this whole move, I think this is all just tap 2 price behavior. Aggressive move up, and then oftentimes you still get your retrace for the third tap. And that's where I'm super interested in longs. So personally, this looks pretty good. Also, if we just zoom out, high time frame trend is still bullish, basically with high, low. A 4-hour structure is this: high, higher low, higher high. So as long as that 4-hour does not break back to bearish, this can just be in a reaccumulation range before higher. And since we are taking the lows and leaving highs behind, it has more signs of a reaccumulation than bearish behavior. To me, this does not look bearish. Let's look locally, because I'm glad we did not take the short and adapt it to what the market gave. Big level is 81k, which we can also see here. So yesterday we pushed higher. Then we had all those aggressive buys with that local model 1 distribution, which was here. 1, 2, 3, break. And there we aggressively sold off and have a naked point of control, which is this level, which is at 81k. So that's a super big level where price often wants to go back to take it out, and then you want to see what the reaction is. Either you sell off from it or you push above and then go much higher. But given the accumulation I'm watching, the pre-plan will be like picture perfect. Dream scenario is get a short here, use that short as a hedge, and flip that short into a long once you get your structure confirmation here, and then ride that long into new highs. That will be the best scenario. So let's see if we get that. But if Mr. Market Maker is watching, that will be my preferred scenario. Let me quickly look at gold, because I'm not gonna fucking miss gold after watching it for a few days. And then look at the chat. This one. What are we locally doing? Yeah, like locally. That's also a thing. If we come back, I might be even interested in longs, because what do we have? We have a field distribution. What is a field distribution? A field distribution is bullish. So often what you see is that a lot of people are impatient and they're shorting the Model 1. They're now getting stopped. They are being used as liquidity. So more often than not, you squeeze higher after that. So if you are into scalping, like this is not a clean setup, but you can, for scalpers, this is where you now broke back to bullish. So if you get a move into here, with structure, this can be, for example, a scalp where you enter, stop loss below your low, target it higher. And personally, I really like to then quickly move it to break even position, because this is super risky. But then you can catch like risk-free trades. But that's definitely not advisable for most people. So best is to always wait for your clean setups. But the field distribution often squeezes much higher. So that's what I think can happen here as well. Okay, let's look at the chat. As far as I understand, for Clarity Act, it will be on the floor of the Senate. So I think the news will come out either bit by bit or only later. They will fight first. Ah, okay. Yeah, we'll have to see. I think today was the deadline. That if they don't hit it today, that it will be a long time from now. Okay, gold is still in the same. So I first want to quickly discuss USDT, because that has been the cleaner chart since start of the week, which I said monitor this range. If we start accumulating by taking the lows, then we have to be very wary that this can be the low and we go much higher. But we did the opposite and we started taking out the high, which is indicative of potential distributive behavior. And that is playing out well so far. So yesterday we took the high. We had 15-minute structure right here. High, higher low, higher high. We now broke that 15-minute upward structure back to bearish, in which the Model 2 becomes more likely. Model 2 distribution. So then you can watch what is the Model 2 distribution. POI. Well, is there clear supply anywhere? Like extreme liquidity is your first lower high. So that's this level. So I have alerts there. But we do not have super clean supply. Yeah, in the top of this move, there's some supply. But USDT has been a cleaner outlook compared to Bitcoin to me. So what I'm looking at here is that we broke 15 minutes back to bearish. So now we can watch price comes down. Here you can form your high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But since I'm mainly watching for the distribution, we can watch here, do we get the Model 2 by taking that extreme liquidity, then break structure, and then we have Model 2 distribution, which means look for longs on crypto. And this is developing very nicely because we have a lot of liquidity building up as well. If this develops like this, high, 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 or low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, super clean short into new lows. So hopefully that plays out, because we've been looking at that scenario for quite a long time. So it would be super nice to see that play out. And it, of course, can also still turn into a Model 1 by making a new high and then go lower. So both are possible. And a big warning sign, still the same, is the 4-hour market structure, which is the red line right here, which aligns also with the deviation threshold. So if this is a higher low and price breaks above that 4 hour with a 4 hour close, then this is likely already the bottom. But I highly doubt it, watching how this moved. I think price needs to accumulate here, and only then I can see this reverse. So super clean chart. And now it's time to watch for the third tap. If we get triggers for that, they can long your other pairs. So that's mainly what I'm looking at for BTC and USDT. And then it's time for the, how should we call it? The shit trade of the week. We have been watching this range. We took out the highs, we took out the lows, and then we have been waiting for price to either take supply or demand. But what did price do? Price has turned as if it's dead. There's literally nothing happening. And price started a super local range. And what's funny is that this is super choppy price action if you zoom out, but zoomed in, it actually gave a 1, 2, 3 model 1 distribution where you internally broke it right here. And then from the low up, price came back for extreme liquidity, which is your first lower high. So low, lower high. And this is your extreme liquidity. And then from the low up, you confirmed it by breaking this upward structure. Higher high, higher low, higher high. And this is your break. So at that moment, this is your valid forward tap. So that could have been your short trigger. There, stop loss at your forward tap, target range low for a super quick 3R. So clean to see that even in that super crazy chop, you still get the model 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And then we took the low. So this is now potentially your third tap. 1, 2, 3. However, I don't trust this tap. I want to still see that demand be mitigated. So to clean it just up, I'm gonna delete this stuff and see it as noise right now. But I'm still interested to see if we finally can get it move into this demand, then get structure break, and then long it, playing the 1, the 2, the 3. So let's see if we finally get an entry, but yeah, basically since Tuesday we started watching it, and since then it has been chop like crazy. So I have my alert at the low and still want to see that get tapped. Preferably with structure like this. Break, get in, higher. So let's see if we get that. But other than that, yeah, I'm not planning to get involved in this tight chop. I want still my demand to be hit. That's the entry criteria for the model to take extreme liquidity or extreme demand. We don't have extreme liquidity. Yeah, you can say this is your extreme liquidity, but extreme demand is the 10-minute demand, which is visible right here. So let's see if we get that, and then, oh, it's already Thursday, of course. So tomorrow is Friday, and then I dare to bet we get the entry tomorrow, late New York session, into the weekend, as usual. Yeah, probably. Welcome, Rice baby. So BTC is clear. For fresh trades, I said scalp longs there, but super low probability. High probability is weakness into 81K. Then look for shorts, And main idea is to look for longs on that third tab of the accumulation model. For ETH, I'm also still looking at the same as for the past weeks, or past week. It feels like weeks, but it's been a week or so. But still range high, range low. Tab 1, tab 2, potentially tab 3 here because we already tapped into demand. But cleanest would be to take that extreme liquidity, or even make a new low, then flip structure, and then have a model 1 to target new highs. Locally, we have a downtrend, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So there's no good structure in this leg. This is also supply. So if you first come up, this can also be a level to look for a weakness for shorts that can then later turn into longs. But overall, it has been trying its best to replicate the gold. They're battling for the stupidest chart. Let's see, for locally it looks more distributive than accumulative. But yeah, same, I would not trade it, but you could technically see it as a potential distribution here. One, two, three, extreme liquidity. Let's just set an alert. But overall, I'm not interested in trading this. The context to form a distribution here is very bad. If you form that into this supply, then I would short it. Right now, I'm not interested in trading it till we hit this supply, or at least this low, or the demand below. So alerts are set and just waiting. Then hype. Hype. Let's clean it up a bit. I've been saying that we came down, and if you look locally, like here, let's delete these levels. Already said, like the way you come down, right here, this already shows that price likely wants to come back to the highs. This is all liquidity that's being left behind for purpose to later take it out again. So I drew this new range, low, tab 1, tab 2, and today we took it out, tab 3, and there I said, okay, look for levels to get in to play the model 1. Because technically we have 1, 2, 3, model 1 accumulation and a lot of easy to grab price liquidity above. So if we look more locally, let's delete this for a moment. We came into the low with structure, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And here we had a break. So this was technically a bullish break on the 15 minutes. Was it also valid on the hourly? No, on the hourly, this was the level. So we only had a 15-minute break and we had demand left behind. So my main level to look was a retest that range low and then go. But I shared it in the group already as well. Here we had a local range. And what did price do? Range high, range low, mid-range tap, valid range, new low, tap 2. Then here on the 1 minute, price left demand behind, right here, this local demand zone. That one I got tapped. Price broke internal back to bullish. So we have low, lower high, lower low, break. Validating this as your third tab. Oh. And then here, how does price come back down? A lot of buy side, which you can even drag because this one did not get taken as well. This one is not. So this is a super clean buy side liquidity trail. And then this low came super deep, but this was basically a fourth tab, still on high low compared to that one. And then internally you low, lower high, lower low, break. So this was break 1, break 2. But yeah, getting in was super. You had to probably the first moment if you was on the 1 minute. Yeah, like even if you was watching the model and wanted to enter on confirmation, like this 1 minute candle, your entry you want it to be here or here, but in 1 minute. So even if you wait for the minute candle close, then your entry was already up here. So entering was super hard, but again, crazy to see how it formed. And it's not magical, it's just big players know that they want to accumulate. So people are selling and they are buying. And that's why you get these models. And then magically, Coinbase announced a partnership or anything with Hype. And from there, price went up almost 8%. So yeah, a bit unfortunate that we did not get an entry. It was super hard to get one. But we should never get mad about it because there will always be a re-entry. Hopefully. But what do we have right now? We have 1, 2, 3 super clean break. So this model 1 is confirmed. Target of that model 1 is the range high. So our objective is the range high. So we can watch, do we get, for example, a range? Then look for accumulations in that range to target the high. Or do we come back down to retest the demand levels left behind right here? Then flip structure back, and then that it can be a long. So technically we want to look for longs towards that technical target with the cleanest demand levels left behind right here. That's pretty deep to give a full retrace. So then what you can watch is for range creation. Right now you can see super clean trend. High, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So interproof and otherwise this can be just higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But you already see that it's kind of starting to round off. And often then eventually you break it, then push back, and that can be the range you want to watch. Then this is, for example, your new range. And then it's the same as always. We have a accumulation model in play. So you don't want to focus on shorts too much. You want to focus on longs. So take out the low and then look for the 1, 2, 3 and then long it back up. So that's what I'm watching now for Hype. Needs a lot of development, so probably not in the next days. And Tao is also moving back strongly in the range. So we had range high, range low. Tab 2, sketchy. Tab 3, I don't like it. But here we took out the low. Now pushing back in the range, in which this is a valid tab 2 of the accumulation model, where we can watch if we come back up, do we get a 1, 2, 3 back up to the range high, which can happen. However, here we have more supply zones. So as you can see with hype is truly a lot of buy side liquidity with slow grinds down and not super aggressive moves. But with Tau, you can see more structure in it. So you have lower high sell off, leaving supply behind, lower high sell off, leaving supply behind. So the way up for Tau is much harder than it is for hype. But yeah, extreme liquidity right now is this low. This is the first higher low right here. So this is extreme liquidity. And here we have some demand, basically from here to here, which is at the range low level. So that's also a nice POI to look for trades. And then we have some supply above. So just watching, maybe shorts from here, longs from here. Bitcoin is squeezing higher. But yeah, are there any questions? Let's see. Bless you. Bless you guys. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but yeah, so all plans are clear. BTC, potential shorts here, longs there. ETH, also shorts above, longs below. And gold needs to stop being a fucker and finally tap demand and give some structure to work with. Then long it back to the highs. Now we can see that it's squeezing higher. Let's have a look at the order flow. Probably shorts getting squeezed that are impatient and took the Model 1. Yeah, so open interest still increasing. Spot also. So this looks pretty strong. You can also see this move came into the daily point of control and then directly bounced. And yeah, above we have that other POC, 181k. So main levels, super easy, 81k, and if you first come back down, 79.5. And again, just funny to see how the absorption model formed the low of the day before squeezing higher. That's why often, if you look at it, and often it are the lower time frames, but yesterday we had the 1, 2, 3 Model 1 distribution, internal break there, and then better break here with a lot of trapped longs, which was a short. And now we had basically the trend continuation, higher low, higher high, higher low, local absorption model with trapped shorts, entry model, and there we bounce from. So you can play the pivots. You just have to know where to look for and also execute, because I was not behind the screen yesterday when this happened. So I did not take advantage of it, unfortunately. But I was watching this. I almost had I already had my hand on the green button, but decided not to take it. But otherwise, you can just play those rotations just on Bitcoin. So there are always plenty of opportunities. However, this week, patience has been the name of the game, especially on gold, which literally died. um, There's also a breaker just after boss. Yeah, I don't trade breakers, but okay. Are there any questions for a clean model forming anywhere? Otherwise, I'm just gonna chill and watch for the reaction at 81K. I'm not sure if the news is out, but it looks like it's squeezing nicely. Maybe insiders or the news is positive, but just a list. Yeah, same for me. All eyes on yeah, basically BTC, DAO, hype, maybe ETH, but mainly BTC as always, and gold if it finally start doing anything. Okay, there is some extra volume coming in. Let's see. As you can see, this is a strong move with a lot of volume in it. So then I'm only interested in shorts if you get clear weakness, aka 3 drive, break. But main idea is to look for longs for higher. But hopefully we get a move anywhere around here to look for that long, maybe into the weekend or early next week. If you watch between the tabs 1 and 2 and drag that out from 2 to 3, then you can see that there should not be a hurry for now. It can be that you chop, tab 3, and then flip. And that will be around Monday, which usually is a day where you can form those pivots. And it would also align with continuation of this local downtrend, low, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then here, wait, break, and then get the expansion higher. If you flip above this supply, then it's likely that you get a less deep retrace and flip it. But yeah, let's see. So thanks everyone for tuning in. A lot of new people also watched, I believe. But good to see. If you want to join best community, make sure to watch the Discord and get daily updates through the day to watch some dead coins like gold. Don't forget to leave a like if you are still watching it. And then I see you guys in Discord. And hopefully we get some trades. Cheers.